I'm going to try again today what I attempted yesterday, but I ended up going on a little detour, a very needed detour. So I'm very grateful that it happened that way. So I want to get back to what came to me the other day. Feel your longing, find your calling. So when you feel your deepest longing, that is your spiritual calling. And when we really get that, we will dive into that longing like nobody's business because that is the doorway. That is the super highway to go all the way home with a capital H. But the little detour, I realized afterwards, it's so funny when I do these videos, I may have an idea and it brings me to the computer and then something else comes out many times. And it's really lovely because then I know it's not Pernilla doing it. It's not me trying to, control things or figure it out with my mind. It's just sitting down and then it comes and then I learned from it also, which is even more cool. Whatever comes through is also for me, or it's just being seen or shown it at a deeper level. But let's get to this. Feel your longing, find your calling. And I am talking about the deepest longing. The other ones, as you will hear on the other video that I did, are very, very, very important. If we don't meet these layers of longing, they're not going to go away. They may go away once the deepest longing has been felt and met, because then we are so one pointed on diving in constantly. And of course, this is my own experience I'm speaking about. But when I go through all these things over the years, I just start seeing what is actually going on. So as long as we have these layers of other longings than the deepest one, they will keep pulling us out. So we will not be able to dive into our spiritual calling in the way that we may want to or may decide it to do in this lifetime. But once we get to a place where, when you go to that deepest longing, for most of us, it is peace, ease, fulfillment, joy, love. It's all the qualities of our own soul. And nothing can beat that. Nothing can ever beat that. That is the ultimate that will make us feel whole and complete and fulfilled. But we do not know that, like I talked about the other day. If we're struggling, to make ends meet, who cares about this? I need to pay my bills. So we need to soften that and kind of let that melt into its own fulfillment so that we have energy to go deeper into a longing that we may not even have had time or energy to explore. So this is not for everyone now. At some point, this will be it for everyone because it's our own soul that we're longing for. It's being who we are fully and completely. That's what the deepest longing is. And those longings can show up, as love, as peace. Peace is a big one for most of us, where we can just rest. I have shared my deepest longing or deepest desire many times, and I'll share it now. It is, I am deeply relaxed in the effortless flow and fulfillment of God's loving grace. And that came to me, I think, over 10 years ago. And then it's been alive in me ever since. So it kind of contains it, right? The peace, the effortlessness, the flow, the love, the grace, the relaxing. Those are the qualities of who we are. And as long as we do not dive in there, it is because there is something else that's pulling us out. But then when we have enough longing, when the longing just takes over, we need to follow that. If we don't follow that, then we are really going against our own grain. But it's not always easy because it's following something that most people in the world are either not aware of or they think it's just pie in the sky. But when you really feel that longing, it is the most real and alive and powerful experience. And can we allow that to consume us? Can we allow that to touch us and bring us in, take us home, instead of us touching something out here? So that to me is our spiritual or divine calling. It is calling us home. I would say that ultimately that is where we are all going to land, probably not at the same time, but when we allow ourselves to be taken by this longing, then the divine, our true nature, is going to take over, and it is already fulfilled. It is already love. If we're looking for love out there, go ahead and do it. I would say do whatever you need to do always. But once the longing is so strong here, we realize that the love we are going to look for or want out there can never measure up with this. Does that mean we don't want love out there? Absolutely not. We want all of it because we are all of it. And this love, of course, that shows up in different expressions in our life. But I want to just really invite you to take the time to, if you feel moved by this, if it resonates, to take the time and just go in there, like, what is it that you really want? And then when we come with, we can call them surface longings or surface wants. Not that there's anything wrong with them, but they are kind of getting in the way of taking a deeper plunge, and it keeps us looking for something outside of ourselves. And the fulfillment is not going to come from there. The fulfillment will come from letting ourselves become an open vessel, an open, willing instrument for this longing, this experience of longing, to take us over and let it fully guide us. That way, the divine can start coming through in a much more easy and effortless way and start fulfilling our lives in a way that we cannot do ourselves. We can do little things, and they're probably very important. We need to keep making ourselves available in this third dimension too, for it to come through. I'm not saying we all need to end up in a cave just meditating and, diving into that yummy feeling inside. But there are some who need to do that. I would say they are holding a frequency for the whole planet, and they should not be disturbed in doing that. But that kind of commitment to the divine is very much bigger than those of us who still, want to do something. I mean, it's so deep that they're willing to renounce everything just to become this and let that live their lives. Let that emit or ooze out. and help the frequencies to harmonize, stabilize, expand, whatever experience it is. So really, the beauty of our longing, of our deepest desire, that is the divine speaking to us, inviting us, calling us home. And what that means, that's going to be the experience that we're going to have, and that might be very unique and very individual for everyone. But I want to invite you to really take this deep longing seriously. It is real, it is alive, it is probably more real than anything else, but we have the tendency to turn away from it because that's what we have been, that's what we have learned and programmed to do, and not to fully surrender our life to the divine. And of course, most of us don't know if we can trust it because we don't have a lot of proof out in the world. A lot of those who did surrender to it, they lost their lives, right? So there is a natural fear in all of us. And I think many of us who have done that in past lives, I know I'm one of them. We were taken out, and that fear still lives in us. But let's not make that stop us from opening up to it again. We are in a different time, a different timeline, different era, where many people are waking up to this. And when we start doing it together, it's going to be a very different experience because the energies get stronger, the frequencies can harmonize easier. And you probably know that this is already happening all over the world. But if I can offer something, if you're interested, I am going to start a monthly online group call, where we are going to explore and really learn to be present with the longing, whatever layer they're at. Because what we are used to is deny and resist and clamp down on our longings, because we're in survival mode, or we have some spiritual ideas about that it's not supposed to be there. But when you really embrace and feel and let yourself be taken by this, then you'll realize what is actually true about it. And so I will be offering that. If you are interested, I would definitely invite you to go to my website, and I'm putting my website link in the description, and just sign up for my email list and you will get the information. I'm going to start out doing it all by donation. I shared that a few times ago. I want to just try out a new paradigm where it's not going to be the way where how everybody else does it. And then I'll just find my way in how does it work, how does it work outside of the regular paradigm. And if it doesn't work in this way, then I will hopefully get some inspiration about some other ways. But this is my longing, to just get out of this matrix and start bringing the divine in a new way. It's like the heaven on earth that we all long for, even though we may not be fully aware of it. So please, get your name on my email list, and I don't send out a ton of stuff, but when I have something I offer, of course, I want everybody to be able to join that. So, my friends, enjoy your longing, embrace your longing, and give it some time. It's a sweet place to go.